Hurricanes back in action against Moana Pasifika. We sort of touched on Moana Pasifika and their performance against the Chiefs there. Maybe not quite as competitive as they were in the first game. The line sort of is, I think the punters are picking on into that as well now with their 28.5-point underdogs currently against the Hurricanes, and that line, that number is growing. Is it getting to a number now, Richard, where you think it might be getting too big?
Oh, when it's the Hurricanes. If you keep backing the Hurricanes as 30-point favourites, it's going to be a stressful watch. Yeah, I think that Moana Pasifika will, they've had 2 runs under their belt. They're just sort of finding their feet and finding the combinations. I see the team they've named this week's pretty similar to the team and last week. So there wasn't any massive sort of reactions from what I could see.
Yeah, sticking with Tomatina and Lealiafano in the halves is probably the most notable.
Yeah.
So they're not going back to Inari and McClutchy to start.
Yeah. So I'd be very dubious about backing the Hurricanes as favourites that big. They have named a team which is probably as expected, not their strongest lineup. Great to see Braden Yossi get a start in the 8 jersey. I'm sure you'd be excited about that.
Moana Pasifika shouldn't be excited about that.
TJ's back at halfback. Aidan Morgan playing first 5. I don't know too much about him. I think he was playing for Wellington and
he's
last year, wasn't he?
Another Wellington youngster played 10 for MSP.
Yeah. And then you'd be very excited about the midfield as well.
Yes, I'm glad.
Tay Walden's alive.
Tay Walden is alive. That's this is an area I want to touch on with you, Paul, because the Peter Uminga Jensen odyssey on this podcast is a long and documented one. But I think this is probably his best midfield partner of the Hurricanes have available, like just in terms of the fit together. Surely this has got to be, the Hurricanes are saying this is your week to sort of get some runs on the board, and they want to see these 2 click against Moana Pasifika, right?
Yes, and that's exactly right. This is the opportunity for them to say we're the best combination in the 12 and 13 jerseys, and well, just do the simple things first. Do the simple things first, and as we've seen in Moana Pasifika games, the longer into the games you get, the more opportunities that will start to arise. So if they can just lay the foundation, first of all, defensively, and then just get the ball rolling. I'd really like to see these 2 put on a good performance, and then hopefully they get a few more games under their belt together. I just concerned. I look at the side, and I'm very, very happy that Yossi's got the 8 jersey. They lose a hell of a lot with Savea not on the field there. He does an immense amount of work, both with the ball and without the ball. So I'm just concerned that we won't have that work rate there, and a number of those players may not be able to sort of express themselves as they would have if he was on the field alongside them. So also, I would have preferred to see Love there, because I'd like to see the 10, 12, 13 combination sort of get together. Obviously, they wanted to give a number of players a go. So we see the likes of Morgan in there, Morby out in the wing. So, yeah, if I'm leaning one way, I'm probably leaning the way of Moana Pasifika plus the points at the moment. We've seen the Crusaders put a team out there that wasn't their top team, and they struggled at times. Great having TJ back, but he'll need this run under his belt. So I'm sure he'll be better next time we see him as well. So yeah, if the line balloons out a wee bit more, I'm very, very happy to take Moana Pasifika plus.
Yeah, it's not going to be dry in Wellington by any stretch tomorrow either. Like, I know coming into the office today to record the podcast, I almost got blown into Wellington Harbour, and looks like it's been raining for about the next 24 hours. So you're probably
it's
not
up in Auckland, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yep. Sorry. No.
Mount Smart.
Yes. Ignore that thing before I said about the takedown.
The worst thing about it is, why are we not taking the crowd limits off at midnight tonight? Why are we doing it at midnight on Friday after this game has been played?
Yeah,
I should have thought about that.
It does seem like, yeah.
It does not make sense. What's the difference between midnight on Thursday, midnight on Friday, apart from the 24? What events does it affect? This is the one event that it affects. there's no sort of sense or rhyme nor reason around it being midnight Friday instead of midnight Thursday.
Yeah, so tune into the Politics Hour with Paul Moati on available where you get all your TV podcasts later today for further discussion of that. But I'm going to move on swiftly. Apologies to anyone who I misled with the previous Caketon comments. But yeah, dry track for the Hurricanes at least, so that is something to note. Do want to touch on what you said here about the selection at 10. Obviously, I understand giving Aidan Morgan a run. He's another youngster. They probably want to get some game time.
Again, debut.
Starting debut. I think he might have made an appearance off the bench before, but it does seem like, it's the perfect opportunity as well. TJ and Ruben and Tay have never played a game of rugby together. Like next week, they're going to be facing stiff competition. It does seem like it's maybe when you do want to have an opportunity to build some combination between the three. But I suppose it could go either way. I'm obviously biased in this area, so I'm just going to be Team Ruben Love all day. So. Yeah, don't really know what to add there. Is there any other players you're circling you want to see a big performance on either side, Richard?
Well, we've talked about him already, but I'm looking forward to seeing Braden Yossi get a shot at the 8. He's been just dynamic off the bench last couple of weeks, so pretty interesting to see how he goes. And for Moana Pasifika, he'll probably still be hurting and on the ground from that fend from Tupu Vai last week, but Time Stowers from Moana Pasifika, he was great against Crusaders. He actually had a pretty good game against the Chiefs, all things considering, but he would have been hurting from that massive fend, and I think he was probably the best in the park against Crusaders. I thought he was huge. So if Moana Pasifika are going to sort of have any chance of keeping this tight, I think he'll be one that will need to really just keep up that form.
Who have you got your eyes on tomorrow night, Paul?
Mr. Yossi. Very, very happy to see him finally get the start. He's thoroughly deserved it. And I hope he sort of takes the opportunity with both hands. I'm sure he will. From what we've seen so far of him coming off the bench, he really has made a difference. He's a big boy, but crocky, he's got silky sort of skills.
He's light on his feet for someone who's well north of 100 kegs.
Yeah, if there's another sort of edition of Dancing with the Stars, he'd be one that you throw in there as a favourite to take it out. Really looking forward to him, and looking forward to seeing TJ back in the 9 jersey, just guiding that pack around the park.
Another one I just want to touch on as well was Caleb Delaney, who's been given the start again in the 4 jersey. He was huge against the Highlanders a couple of weeks ago. And the locking area is probably one place where the Hurricanes are looking for someone to put their hand up and claim one of those jerseys, because I think they are up for grabs, the 2 locking positions. So hopefully see another performance from Delaney there, and he can go a bit further towards cementing himself as one of the Hurricanes' first choice locks. So that's someone I'll be keeping an eye on. But obviously we've sort of touched on 28.5. It's a big line, not the most traditional betting interest in this game, but obviously same game claim is running on this and every other Super Rugby Pacific game this weekend, where if you place a 3 or more league same game multi and it misses by 1 league, will refund you up to $50 as a bonus bet. Same game multi market's not up at the time of recording, but the teams have been named, so we're just going to go around the circle and pick out a little same game multi each for a bit of interest. Do you want to get the ball rolling, Richard?
Yep, I can. So I'm going to go. I'm not sure what the alternative point starts will be, but I'm going to take something close to Moana Pasifika plus 33.5. I'm going to take over 50. Once again, no total points line, but I'm going to just say over 57.5 points if it's up in at Mount Smart, and a couple of try scorers for the Hurricanes, Braden Yossi and Asafa Moa. So I'm not sure what that'll come to, but with a couple of try scorers in their forwards, I think that'll bump it up a bit.
You might have stolen a couple of my leads there. I thought you can probably guess one of them at least. How about you, Paul? Who's going in your same game multi?
I'm just going to throw a few try scorers in there. I'm going to go Geordie Barrett, Braden Yossi, and Peter Umaga Jensen, all to score a try during that match. But I'm going to take Moana Pasifika plus the points. So I can't tell you how much that'll be.
You'll probably get a reasonable price there with the 3 Hurricanes try scorers sort of offsetting the plus.
Plus, yes.
Yeah. No, I like that. I'm shocker. I was also had Braden Yossi earmarked for one of my try scorers. Geordie as well. Sort of seems like not the free leg, but the obvious one to chuck in there. I think he'll get plenty of time and space out back there, and he's looked incredibly dangerous so far this season. Without Artie as well, he's going to have to probably step up and be the key man for the Hurricanes. So expecting a big performance from him. And then I'll chuck a Safo in too, because it's the Pick and Go podcast for back hookers to score tries. So yeah, nice and simple for me, just to Safo Moore, Braden Yossi, and Geordie Barrett will score tries.
Nice.
Play it with straight bat. That I think does us for the first game of the weekend in New Zealand.